Hey everybody, Josh here, back for another weekly vlog slash podcast. How the heck are you? It's been a little while. We got some catching up to do, and I have a really good excuse. I mean, if you've been following my Substack, which I always keep up to date. So remember, if you like these updates, definitely make sure you're subscribed to the Substack. Link will be in the description. Anyways, I was in Japan for 2 weeks, and it was pretty freaking cool. I'm not going to go into super long detail on this podcast episode or vlog because I went into pretty good detail on the Substack recently. I actually had 2 posts. I posted once about halfway through the trip when we had got there, tour around. I had some cool experiences. The subway system there is really cool. And then last week, I also wrote a Substack post on just kind of summarizing my thoughts, right? What it was like in the country, the food, the shopping, the pros, the cons. It was mostly cons. It's a really cool country. I don't know if you've been to Japan before, or maybe, heck, you live in Japan. Really cool country. Had a really good time. Got back a little over a week ago. One of the big surprising things for me was how brutal the jet lag was on the way back. So I'm based in Canada. It's a 13-hour difference between Toronto and Tokyo. And so when we landed, we actually adjusted relatively quickly. I think maybe part of the reason was we got there at like 5 p.m. We had left that morning, Toronto time, got there at 5 p.m. So we just kind of had to suck it up to like 9, 10 p.m. and then go to sleep. It obviously took us a couple days to adjust, but it wasn't so bad adjusting getting there. And I've since learned that it's easier to adjust when you go than when you come back for whatever reason. I thought it'd be the other way around. I thought it'd be like, oh, you're going to a new time zone, it's going to suck, but then when you come back, it'll be okay. Well, I'm an idiot, because when we got back, I slept terribly for like 3-4 nights. And even still, like what a lot of people have told me, or at least one rule of thumb apparently, is for every hour of time difference is roughly how many days it takes your body to like fully adjust. So if it's a 13-hour time difference, could take roughly 13 days to get back to normal. I'd say after about 5-6 days, first 2-3 days were horrible. And now after about 7 days, feeling a lot better. Sleep's getting a lot more regular. So anyways, can't complain. It was great. The hardest part was coming back to a very busy week, right? Because when you go away for 2 full weeks, obviously depending on what type of job and business you're doing, and the type of work you're doing within the business, right? Like, for example, I do mostly our sales and marketing. So I come back and I have a whole week already booked of sales calls that have been piling up while I was gone. So it's been a really hectic week. I'm still not fully caught up. I think by tomorrow I'll be fully caught up in terms of back in action, all the tasks I had to catch up on, meanwhile taking all the calls, stuff like that. In general, it's been a little bit slower, I would say, in June. That's normally what we see, at least here in Canada, because it's friggin' cold all winter. A lot of people take time off in the summer, right? So like late June into July into August, obviously. So usually, whether it's been running Visto, my tech company, or back when I was, practicing as a quote-unquote normal lawyer, always saw a bit of a slowdown in the summer, which can be kind of nice because if the rest of your year has been pretty busy, then it's almost a nice thing to have. You obviously don't want it to be quiet and dead, which it's not for us, thankfully. But it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a slower pace. Because number one, you can breathe a little bit. And number two, as we all know, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, we always have stuff on our to-do list. And usually there's those couple things, those like 3, 4, 5 pesky things that you know you should get done, that you want to get done. And they just kept being pushed to the bottom of the list. And the summertime, I find, is a great time to get all that stuff done because you finally have a little bit of breathing room to do it. So once I'm fully caught up, just looking at my calendar for next week now, we also have Canada Day on Monday. So I should be posting this either way the day before that. So this should be live before Canada Day, but we also have the Monday off. That'll really help me in terms of catching up. My week's already kind of busy coming up, which is, like I said, a good thing. So we'll see. I'll obviously keep you posted. I do want to get back to posting these update podcasts and vlogs every week. I had gotten into a really good habit of it for the first 4 or 5 months of 2024. Like I said, my Substack has been primo. So if you're not already subscribed, I'm going to plug it again. Make sure you're on the Substack. Link will be in the description, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform, because I've been crushing it on Substack. 1 to 2 posts every week, like clockwork. So if you like my stuff, definitely be there, because number one, that's really where I'm the most consistent. And number two, this podcast also gets posted on Substack, so you'll get a notification when the issues go live. Although, if you prefer to watch them on YouTube, then thank you. I appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Anyways, that's mostly been it. I don't know if I have too much other business stuff I wanted to talk about. I am reading, I'm about 66% of the way through Never Split the Difference, which is a interesting and so far very helpful book on negotiating. Let me just pull up the tagline here. It's called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It, by Chris Voss and Tal Raz. Basically, the shtick there is that Chris Voss used to be like the FBI hostage negotiator, like crazy stuff. Like, it's a really great book. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I'll do a full review in the next episode once I finish it. But as a quick summary, he's basically, number one, teaching you very interesting and I think practical strategies and tactics for negotiating. And number two, he's using real life stories from when he was negotiating with hostages and bank robbers and stuff like that. So the stories are super interesting. As somebody who has worked an office job his whole life, aka like sat at a desk and done like, white collar work, it's pretty cool to hear what it's like and what like FBI hostage negotiators do and go through and stuff like that. So anyways, I'll give you the full review probably next week. It's a pretty quick read, I would say, but my reading ironically slowed down while I was away. When I'm home and I'm in a good routine, I'm usually reading like, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe sometimes 40 pages a day. But when we were in Japan touring around, I was so tired at the end. Like we were pretty active. We were walking around a lot, seeing a lot of stuff. It was great. And then the good part of that was at the end of the night, I was wiped and it was hot. We had really good weather. Like the only day it rained was the day that we left. So pretty lucky there. So anyways, weirdly, even though we were on vacation, I didn't read all that much, so I'm kind of catching up now. Anyways, you get my point. Now I'm just rambling like a little schmuck. So anywho, thanks for tuning in. Hope things have been really good on your end. I'm going to get back to posting these vlogs and podcasts pretty consistently once a week. So if you like them, let me know. Any feedback's really helpful. If you like them, just a like and subscribe, all that fun stuff really helps. If you have any feedback, any other details or questions that you want me to go into, I'm always open for feedback, any specific topics that you want me to cover, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, hope you had a great week. Hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.